million thievery scandal. Asankregrad District Immigration Commander alleges. After massive decongestion of Accra, traders are back on streets. I have the videos. We'll play it on air so that everybody will know the Rambo style with which the casino was raided. Interesting. I've been joined in the studios by the MP for Sisala West, Honorable Mohammed Supar. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well.
You were supposed to be here on Monday, but you had other things to...
I'm telling you.
So you were in the constituency, I believe.
No. We, as a committee, we went for a capacity building at Koforidua, so
oh, I see.
We finished yesterday.
I see.
So I got back to Accra yesterday around 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. How's the constituency?
So far, so good.
How are people doing?
They are doing very good.
I'm told that you did something in your constituency. I mean, a little birdie told me that you did something in your constituency. What was that?
Yes, recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, I was in the constituency. Yes, I think the donation was done last week, Monday.
Oh, you donated
yes,
something? Awesome.
So the only secondary school in the constituency, Hilal Liman Senior High School.
Our very own Hilal Liman.
Yes, our very own Hilal Liman.
CPP's Hilal Liman.
Yes.
PNC's Hilal Liman.
PNC Hilal Liman. So, I mean, he really confused me. And so the school was hit by this rainstorm, caused a lot of distraction. The students' personal belongings and all of that got damaged and all of it. So as their representative, I was also in town that very day, so I went around with the headmaster. So I had to arrange something quickly to intervene. So the following day, we donated some assorted items, books, and some other items to the student, amounting to 9,000 Ghana. So that was what I did last week.
Beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. So, Paulo, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame.
How are we?
We're good, Kwame.
We're good. I know you said good.
and I'm privileged to meet the MP for Sisala.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It's a privilege. You're very fine. And Kwame, did you know that the Sisala people are at the core of the charcoal business in Ghana?
Really?
Yes, and the charcoal business is the supply chain is worth $66 million per annum.
But we are not tapping into that.
Oh, well, we are. The people who are...
I saw a picture of, I think one of those sites selling charcoal for, I think about just 4 pieces. For I think about, is it $100? Something like that.
But it's an extraordinary opportunity. The Sisala people are involved in a $66 million industry per annum. And just briefly, the money though, a lot of the money is going to the market queens and the wholesalers. They take about 2/3 of that 66 million. And that's why a lot of these market queens have their children going to Ivy League schools in America, fully paid for. So anyway, when I heard he was the MP for Sisala, I just thought about the extraordinary opportunity that charcoal has for the Sisala people. And maybe he will tell us some more about it in the course of the day.
Yeah. Thank you. Soprano always has a very nice way of breaking the ice. All right, so to the viewers out there, if you are on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, make sure you share the feed so others can get the opportunity to watch the show. This morning, we're going to make sure that we deal with all the issues. My interest really has got to do with this national security 2.8 million thievery scandal. Asankregrad District Immigration Commander is alleging. At least people have begun talking. That's good. All right. So Brian, let's start with you on this Biafran issue.
Yes, sir, Kwame. Thank you so much, and good morning to the listeners. I also want to use the opportunity to send my regards to Nana Klu, Dawa #1. He's the overlord of the area. It's in North Kintampo. He's the chief, and also my regards to the Chiranda chief in North Kintampo, Chiranda, as we say, and Tahiri Kura, where they are still drinking water, sharing the water with the livestock and bees and all of those things. Kwame, I read the story about the Biafra issue, that is the remembrance of the Biafran War. I think I was just a baby when the Biafra War was ongoing, if I was born at all. But one thing I do remember is that it tore apart the sub-region. In fact, Kwame, you remember that one of the reasons why Prime Minister Kofi Abrefa-Busia failed in his administration was because of the disaffection that was and the dislocation in the economy brought about by the his policy of if you are not a Ghanaian, you should leave. I have it in my book. I'll bring it up in a moment.
Third world to first world.
Yes, third world to first world by one touch. But Prime Minister Busia and President Akufo-Addo, I'm talking about Edward Akufo-Addo, not Nana Akufo-Addo, but Prime Minister K.A. Busia and President Akufo-Addo and the first President Akufo-Addo had they came in with what they called a sort of, they sacked non-Ghanaians out of this country. The Aliens Compliance Order. That's what I'm trying to remember. You understand? And what I'm saying here is that the Aliens Compliance Order was primarily targeted against Nigerian traders because the government at the time, President Akufo-Addo, he felt that we love President Akufo-Addo.
You don't love.
So President Akufo-Addo and his prime minister, they felt that the Nigerians had, kind of taken over the commanding heights of the Ghanaian economy, amongst other expatriates or non-Ghanaians. And so because of that, Prime Minister Busia and President Akufo-Addo, sort of they enacted and started implementing the Aliens Compliance Order. My point here is that the influx of Nigerians into Ghana that compelled in the enactment of the Aliens Compliance Order was as a result of the Biafran War. The Biafran War drove tens of thousands of Ghanaians out of Nigerians out of Nigeria, and a lot of them came to Ghana to settle in Ghana, and they were doing good business, paying taxes, prospering. Before President Akufo-Addo and his prime minister, kicked them out of the country and essentially took over their assets. We have all of it in this book. Pictures, daily graphic reportage, everything. So President Akufo-Addo, he has been doing things for a long time now, But anyway, the point here is that the Biafran War dislocated West Africa. It almost tore apart Nigeria. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the current president of Nigeria who was in charge when the Biafran War was going on.
Buhari.
Buhari. I'll stand to correction though, but I think
Colonel
it was
Buhari.
Yes, Colonel Buhari. So it is interesting that the circumstances are occurring again. I think there are some lingering.
The circumstances has always been there.
But it seems to be highlighted right now because the story says this. The story we are reacting to in today's Daily Graphic, draws attention to the fact that 2 or 3 Air Force officers, Nigerian Air Force officers, were murdered. Okay, and then unfortunately,
were they murdered or they died out of a crash?
No, I think they were shot. The newspaper thinks that they were shot, okay. From a distance, they were taken out. Okay, and it has caused the Air Force to that the body, the force, to sort of go on the streets, the blocked streets, and there is sporadic gunfire in the streets. Okay, and I think this has heightened tensions. So all I'm saying here is that we do not want to see a resurgence in the east of Nigeria, or fighting in the east of Nigeria. And I think it will break the back of the Federal Republic if it occurs. Because currently, under the circumstances, as you know, President, excuse me, I forgot his name again.
Buhari?
Yes, President Buhari has essentially handed over the fight against extremists to the Americans. He essentially has sort of, jumped ship or, something to that effect with regards to protecting the Nigerian people. Nigerians thought that General Buhari, would just come and shut down Boko Haram. But General Buhari has thrown his hands up in the air and he's given up. And it was evident when he was basically bootlicking Mr. Blinken, the Secretary of State of the United States. Yeah, he was licking his boots, saying America should come and fight Nigeria's war for them, in a pathetic display of what's the word, Kwame? He had just given up. The president of Nigeria, he has just given up. So we call on the Nigerians in the Biafran part of Nigeria to stay calm. They've been advised to stay indoors. Please, easy does it, my fellow Nigerians, my fellow Africans in Nigeria. We love you very much. We love Nigeria. You know, they have some of the best intellects on the continent, in the world, really. They have some of the most beautiful women in the world, really. And Nigeria is one of the best countries in the world. And we in Africa, we are waiting for the day when the Nigerian people, the Green Eagles, will put on their best agbada and soar to the heights, taking the rest of Africa with them. That is the capacity of Nigeria. That is the promise of Nigeria. But instead, today, Nigeria is saddled with, you know, clueless, corrupt leaders. I read that the former oil minister, a lady oil minister in Nigeria, she's now living in London, and the Serious Fraud Office in Nigeria has confiscated from her about $50 million and 80 houses. Can you imagine, Kwame? She embezzled 80 houses. Where are you going with 80 houses? You see, so Nigeria is saddled with people like that. The other day, another man who has been convicted, I think in New York, he became governor. He almost became president. You understand? So when we look at Nigeria today and we see the confusion in the leadership of Nigeria, we are very, very disappointed. Especially that the president of Nigeria, General Buhari, who we thought would be able to stabilize the country, when he has given up. We think maybe he should just step down, Mr. President Buhari. So anyway, we wish Nigeria the best. We wish Nigerians the best. When Nigeria prospers, all of us in Ghana and other places will do well. When Nigerians, when they get money and they visit Ghana and they are spending the money, it turns the wheels of commerce, because in fact, a Nigerian man that is spending money, Kwame, you know he can really spend money. You know what I'm saying? As they say, he's killing money, you know, as they say in Nigeria. So we wish Nigerians the best. We think they are fantastic people. You know, they drive very nice cars. They have good taste. They are well dressed. They are highly intelligent. Kwame, when I was in Atlanta in the United States, I noticed that the entire medical industry in the state of Georgia is essentially run by Nigerians. I'll tell the truth about this. The medical doctors, top medical doctors, brain surgeons, the top nurses, all of them are Nigerians. You meet Nigerians and he's highly competent. He has 3 PhDs and 4 different law degrees and an engineering degree as well. So Nigerians, they are fantastic people. If only the leadership in Nigeria could, you know, get it right. But then again, I call on the Nigerian people to look hard at the people who present themselves for, you know, elected office, because the leaders we have in Africa are the results of our own choices. You understand? So, for instance, if you look at Ghana, you know, you look at President Akufo-Addo, and then, you know, I talked about the other President Akufo-Addo that we keep on electing them, and they keep on making things so hard. But we love the Akufo-Addos anyway. God bless President Akufo-Addo, and God bless Nigeria too.
Right,
Thank you.
right. Honorable, it appears you've just received your first message on my show. The person says, "Good morning, Per. The Sisala West MP's introductory remarks this morning. It seems MPs are more developmental oriented than even the MMDCs. Would it therefore not be reasonable to increase their share of the MP's common fund? This suggestion is on the heels of the fact that since 1993, MMDCs have contributed almost nothing to the improvement of the basic needs of the people and in their jurisdiction. Allegedly, they only use the funds for their personal good." And this one was sent to me on Facebook this morning, responding to what Honorable said, reacting actually to what Honorable said. But Honorable, let me get you to speak to the Nigerian issue.
I think the Nigerian issue, it is something that has been there. It is not a new war. I think it started somewhere in 1966, and it was between, you know, the government of Nigeria headed by, it wasn't General Buhari time, but rather one General Yakubu.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
It was one General Yakubu go on.
Okay, that's true. Go on.
He was then, I think, the head of the state, and so it was something that was a war that was really caused by this ethno-religious stuff, and it started somewhere in 1966 to 1970. when the people were reincorporated into Nigeria. I mean, the people of Biafra. And so it's something that has been there, yes. And so any little thing that triggers it, you see it coming up. And so I think it's unfortunate that it's happening again, because looking at the kind of economy, most especially as Africans, we have a lot of challenges that we are facing, and you know, something like war should also come. You know, I can imagine what the children and women are going through at that particular state. And so I think that the leadership or the president of the state, I mean, General Buhari, must do something about it. I mean, he should be able to bring the country into order and ensure that there is peace, so that the people can go about their daily businesses, so that we will not have issues like this. You know, it is not only in Nigeria, but I think as African, and for that matter, even in Ghana, places that we had issues in the past, there must be a way of solving it. Sometimes, you know, our leaders, they go into those matters, you know, leave it unsolved, and any little thing that triggers it, you see it. But if they should find a way of, you know, settling whatever might have caused, you know, the fight way back, settle it once and for all, there will not be, you know, any unfinished something somewhere. Yeah. When you leave it unfinished, that is where any little things that triggers it, you will see it coming up again. And so I think once this thing has started way back, and they know the cause of the fight, I think government must step in and look at what the government can do to settle. What was the cause? It was about ethno-religious and other stuff. What really brought about that ethno-religious thing? Find out the cause, then you come up with remedies that, okay, A, B, C, D, and I mean, moving forward, these things will not happen again. I think basically this
right, thank you very much, Honorable, for your submission. Well, those of you who are watching us can equally join in the conversation with your messages via our WhatsApp and text number, which is on your screens now. I have not been able to commit the number to memory just yet, but I'll do that. I'll commit it to memory very soon. But you can send your views and comments to that WhatsApp number. You can also leave your comments underneath the Facebook live stream, and then I'll read the messages here for you. Well, let's come back to our country, Ghana, and discuss other very important matters. Now, if Justice Appiah is watching, I think that he should send me a he should get Adam to prepare the video, because yesterday when I was watching Hot News, Justice Appiah played some videos of some senior high schools in this country. Saka, I've seen you. I'm waiting for you to join us, right? Some videos, and I think I need to replay that video for you to know exactly what is happening in our senior high schools. And I'm just bringing this to your attention because of the decision that was reached by the court. Because I mean, they are not issues that can be described as pari passu. However, I believe that once we're talking about Timota School, then we can also try and swim into other areas, you know, within the confines of education. And free SHS obviously, certainly is part of that. So Adam, look for that video for me. I'll call for it very shortly. Food insecurity is looming in Ghana. Chamber of Agribusiness is warning over imported seeds. National security in 2.8 million thievery. Adam, I've sent you that video so you can download it and put it in the system. I just want the whole world to see the Rambo style with which the casino and wherever it is that they went to was stormed. We need. So far, have you seen that video?
No,
no, have you seen the video? Okay, right. After massive, I'm sure Saka has also seen the video. After massive decongestion of Accra, traders are back on the streets. And I think I want to start with this particular one before we zoom in and look at the other issues. Soprano.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've always maintained that if we want to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa, it must be deliberate, and it must not just be one that will be described as a hogwash approach, or perhaps rhetorical. You know, where governments just say things in order to win score political points, etc. But there must be a deliberate attempt to implementing those ones, right?
Yes, sir.
But if you look at our attempt at getting traders off the streets, it has not been a properly thought through process, which is why every time we sack them, they come back. Because I believe that if you sack them, you must make provisions for them, right? You can't just simply ask them to leave, and because you watch them start their businesses on the streets, you watch them build it up, and then now you want to sack them. You must make sure that you create another avenue for them to operate. So I'm starting with you on this. Basaka, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Bro.
Right, yeah. You're meeting Honorable for the first time, I believe.
Yes,
that's Saka Salia. Great guy. And troublesome too. But we love him. Soparo, yes.
Kwame, I appreciate you so much about the recurring appearance of our traders on our streets. His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, talked about, Accra being the cleanest city in Accra. Of course, most of us knew it was just a dream, and that would be very hard to achieve. But we appreciate the fact that the president remains a dreamer, and at least he envisages a clean Accra. But Kwame, there are several issues, mitigating the aspiration of the president, and indeed, most of us to have our cities cleaner than they are. And I think at the core of it, Kwame, is the planning. You see, or lack of planning by the town and country planning, the city authorities. You see, Kwame, because what you should notice that the design and planning of our cities does not foster segregating, say, traders to a particular area, insofar as it will be very difficult for their market and their clients to reach them. I want to do that again, Kwame. The people selling stuff on our streets, these petty traders, okay, can only meet their clients in certain locales, okay, because of the way our cities are designed.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So I'm very sure that the people on the streets selling would themselves prefer to be operating in better environments. I mean, it cannot be the case that somebody wants to be running around in dangerous traffic selling ice water for a living. The other day, I saw a woman in her 30s, quite heavy set, very attractive lady with a baby on her back. And she was running to collect her 20 pesos from some ice water.
And the baby fell?
No, but she ran about 200 meters in slow-moving traffic. And she was panting and heaving, and I was watching her, and I felt so sad for the women of Ghana, that this woman, in trying to earn her daily bread, would suffer so much. You understand? And it was happening close to the Flagstaff House. You see, and I was wondering, so President Akufo-Addo, has he seen these things, the beggars in front of his house? Is he aware? I mean, because it's not as if he travels by helicopter from the Flagstaff House. You see, now, if he was going to France, we know it would be in a superior jet, but the Flagstaff House, right at the Flagstaff House, there are, Ghanaian women suffering tremendously. And I hope that if the president has seen it, that every time he sees it, that it motivates him to try and intervene, to do something, significant. President Akufo-Addo, as we used to say about Rollins, do something before you die. You see, President Akufo-Addo, we pray for him that he can do something, because so far, things are really terrible. However, you see, Kwame, so the city planning is not helping. The way, and then another thing that I find sad about development in Ghana, especially in urban areas, Kwame, is the fact that it appears anybody can can turn his premises into a commercial area. You understand? So what is happening is that, so anybody at all can just decide that, okay, I have a house, maybe opposite President Akufo-Addo's house, so now I'm starting a chop bar or something. So it used to be, Kwame, I grew up, one of the places I grew up when I was a kid, it's a place called Chapache Estate in Kumasi. Okay, and it was designed by General Champong. Okay, it was a General Champong project. But one thing I remember was that it was well designed, so well designed that there was an apportionment for schools, for recreational areas, for markets, etc. But unfortunately, the Pentecost Church has somehow taken over those green spaces that were supposed to be for the people. And that is the story about these churches. They just buy all the land that was meant for people to come and recreate and do other stuff. And then when they come and do their church service, like today in the morning, the one close to me, the Pentecost Church close to me, at 4:30 a.m., opened his speakers to a very high decibel and started disturbing everybody in the neighborhood. You understand? These churches, if you want to pray, and by the way, when I got up this morning, I was going for a walk. I passed by the church. There were only 4 people in the church.
You know, that's the most annoying thing.
4 people in that church.
Sometimes 2.
And they have so much noise. So I call on Jesus Christ to punish the churches that are behaving like this. It's unacceptable. But Kwame, staying on track with the situation in on our streets. So also the key point here is the issue of unemployment. You see that President Akufo-Addo has been suffering to resolve. The bottom line is that people are on the streets because the state has not been able to create the conditions that fosters employment of the youth. This is clear. President Akufo-Addo has been doing his best, but we in the CPP, we still maintain that when you pay the Forestry Commission Chief Executive Officer 65,000 Ghana a month, and then you pay the university graduate planting the tree 400 cedis a month, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission and the university graduate who is taking 400 cedis a month, they live in the same area and go to work at the same place. You see, so when you have these discrepancies occurring, then you see that people come out on the streets. For instance, Madame Adwoa, Mrs. Adwoa Safwa, the MP for Dome Kwabenya district. If you go to her district, Dome, you see Kwame, and I'm about to round up and point to the key item that is making Accra dirty, and by extension, most of the urban centers in Ghana. The key item here is that I was talking about Mrs. Adwoa Safwa and her constituency at Dome. Kwame, you would notice that the pedestrian walkway, you see, the pedestrian walkway is taken over not even by street hawkers, but by the owners of the houses just behind the walkway have extended their porch.
Where?
Oh, Dome, the entire Dome from ECG, the mall, what do you call the mall at Dome? Achimota Mall, all the way to Dome, all the way up to the home of the renowned Apostle Kojo. You might have heard about him.
I've seen. I know Kojo
Safo's house.
But I don't. What are you referring to? Are you referring to? Okay, so the Taifa Junction or the Dome Junction?
I think it's the Dome Junction where
the Taifa Junction.
Taifa Junction, where the electricity company office is.
That's the Taifa Junction. Because that road connects you to Adwoa's father's house.
Okay, so you know when it brings you through Dome Market, and then
okay, you're in the Dome. Okay, so
yes,
that's Dome.
And then you climb up, and all that way, all the way to Mrs. Adwoa Safwa's house. You see, people have taken over the pedestrian walk. At first, I thought maybe Mrs. Adwoa Safwa had not seen it, the MP. But then I noticed that close to her daddy's house, it is occurring. And I know that she loves her dad a lot and visits him a lot. So she has seen it, but she's either incompetent enough to handle it or she's afraid of the electorate. That's another thing about our politicians. They are afraid of the people. You know, that if they force the people to do the right thing, that they will lose the next election. So one of the problems facing us in Ghana, Honorable, is that you, the politicians in office, you are afraid to take action on behalf of Ghana because you are thinking just in 4-year stretches. And you think
I'm not missing the point.
No,
because political figures work within a structure.
Sure.
I'm not saying that what they are doing is right. I'm not holding brief for anybody. But political figures work within a certain political structure.
Sure.
Which political structure must ensure that whatever it is that anybody does, you know, it goes to the benefit of that structure. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So, for instance, in Koforidua, I don't know if you recall, that when MPP came to power the first time, in Koforidua, one of the MCs, or is it MC or DC or somebody, tried to clear the people of the pavement. You saw what happened.
Yeah.
The party called him to order. Said, do you want us to lose the elections? So it moves beyond that. Now, even Adwoa Safo herself that you're referring to, she fired the school feeding coordinator or somebody in Ashanti region. Okay? And
I think nationwide.
Nationwide,
yeah.
sorry. The coordinator.
Mrs. Pashiga.
Yeah, Mrs. Pashiga. She fired Mrs. Pashiga. You saw what happened.
Sure.
She was reinstated. So it's bigger than we're seeing. You know.
When you say it's bigger, I don't get it.
It's bigger in terms of political and partisan interferences. That's why I'm saying that it's bigger than that. You know, like you're rightly saying that, it's, you know, of course, the next election, etc. But that goes beyond that one individual.
Well, Kwame, that's
perhaps we should be talking about, creating, or if you will, having laws, you know, that is entrenched enough to make such acts, you know, offensive. So that in the final analysis, people can be punished for going onto the streets to go and sell.
Kwame, the laws exist. In this country, we have some of the most beautiful laws. You understand? It is just that Mrs. Adwoa Safo is afraid of the electorate. Okay,
but must she be the one to enforce the law?
Well, she is the poster child for Dome Kwabena. She represents us.
No, but you are talking about.
I think she's only representing the people.
The people.
We have MC who is in charge of government business.
Sure.
At that particular district.
Sure.
She's only representing them in parliament. But so, as a member of parliament, you don't have that power to go and be enforcing such laws. The people that are not supposed to be here, and you are here. As a member of parliament, you do not have that power. It's supposed to be the MC or the DC.
Sure, I appreciate that.
And even the police must do their work. Because if there are laws, like you are rightly opining, that there are laws that are supposed to work, then the laws must necessarily work. But people who must ensure enforceability of the laws.
Let me just come in. This issue about the law that you are talking about, we have law enforcement agents.
Sure.
Like you rightly said, the police. There are laws. When you are driving, for instance, on the highway, if you are speeding, because police knows that it's an offense to overspeed, they stop you, or when they see you doing something that is not within the law, they say that you've gone against ABCD, and for that matter, you are charged, and they are taking you to court for that. So if there are laws, I think that it is the responsibility of the law enforcers, I mean the police, they must ensure that if what you are saying, there are laws that people are not supposed to be at ABCD where they are. It is the responsibility of the, you know, the MCA, the district chief executive, to lead the police.
I'll go to the last thing. I'll go to the last
sure. After. So, and I appreciate where Honorable is coming from. But the point is this: as the electorate, the only person I can hold to account for the shortcomings in my constituency is the MP. I vote for the MP. I do not vote for the district chief executive.
But you vote for government.
No, one moment though. Please, let me make my point so that you know. You see, so the MP is the person I can hold accountable at the ballot box. The DCE is serving at the pleasure of the president. So the president is afraid to lose the votes of the guy on the street. The DCE is working for the president. He will toe the president's line. I cannot hold the DCE accountable. But the MP, I voted for the MP, or I voted against the MP. You see, and I can hold her accountable. And I'm hoping that
this principle applies both ways. Because the same people who vote for the president or whatever it is, for which reason the DC is refusing to act. It's the same reason why the MP will refuse to act, because the people also voted for the MP.
But my point though is that when Honorable says that is the responsibility of the DC or MC, you understand? I'm trying to say that then I'll put pressure on my member of parliament to get the DC to do what he wants. But the DC doesn't really care about the ordinary guy the way the MP cares about the ordinary guy. But because the MP is very careful about the voter. Because he owes direct allegiance to him. If he's not nice to the voter, he will lose. That's why I'm saying that Mrs. Adwoa Safo is afraid of the guy on the street much more than maybe the DC. Because the DC, if the president really likes him, he will reintroduce him numerous times until he's,
the conversation should be about creating markets or building markets, right? For people.
They go and build it in an obscure area where the traffic of the buyers.
That's my problem. There's nothing like an obscure area, which is why Free SHS, some of the e-blocks which were built by Mahama have been left to rot. The fact that we describe places as obscure, for me, does not make sense. Now, hold on, because societies must expand, communities must grow, and you cannot grow communities if you continue to congest the inner cities of those communities. So, if you build these markets, for instance, why? If the roads were good, you build a market at, let's say, Pokuase, there's no traffic. What will prevent me from driving to Pokuase and go and get it?
Unemployment and poverty, which has been imposed upon us by poor leadership. You understand? So it is a good idea. I'll give you an example. In Kumasi, President Kufuor built the Carpenters Village, the wood market. He moved from Araga Junction. You understand? And I went to the wood market with my mom recently, and it's a beautiful place. You understand?
But they're not in Araga Junction again.
Because I was there. Yeah. Some of them are still there, but the majority, the serious ones, are the wood village.
Have you seen the development, the road?
Sure. But you see, but I'm also saying, Kwame, that most people cannot afford to go to the wood village to buy.
It's because of that perception. You see,
it's poverty. They don't even have the money.
No, brother.
Even the transportation.
Perception.
Kwame, you see, Kwame, look. Yesterday, you know how we CPP people we do. Yesterday, I went to a chop bar to eat, and I bought konkonte 2 cedis, okay, and meat 2 cedis. But even that was 4 cedis lunch. But even me, I was enjoying. Even me, I was enjoying with my 2 cedi konkonte and 2 cedi tuna.
It's been a long time since I ate konkonte.
You should try it.
Show me where.
Very nice, and then she has some ginger and pepper that you put on bread and cocoa. But the point is that it was 4 cedi lunch, and then I was watching other people. I was watching other people come there, and some people were buying 50 pesos konkonte, no meat. Somebody said, "Oh, just give me okro." You see, so I was surprised because here I was crying about my 4 cedi konkonte lunch, but people were spending 1 cedi, 50 pesos konkonte, and Accra, the Ashoman area in the city of Accra, under the tenure of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Ghana, they actually
1 cedi konkonte, no meat, with pepper.
But
you understand?
But so I mean, let's have a very open and honest conversation.
Sure, Kwame.
How is poverty created?
Oh, Kwame.
Poverty is created, in my estimation, by reason of government's inability to introduce policies which will alleviate poverty, right?
Okay.
So policies, because I mean everything revolves around policy, isn't it? And also the incessant taste of wanting to live a certain lifestyle, for which reason people also leave their communities, leave their villages, leave their homes to come to the so-called central business district to come and look for jobs to do. So they come, they find that nothing like that exists. They come and they struggle. They don't want to go back because they promised their father that, Charlie, I have to come back a rich man. So these are some of the variables.
Yes.
So I'm making this point to the effect that if, for instance, people decided that, listen, we want to engage ourselves in farming, they'll be able to earn an income. They don't necessarily have to come and add up to the numbers in Accra. If people decided that, listen, we want to, like the charcoal business, we want to make sure we focus on that, they will make money out of that, right? Even if we don't have policy addressing fundamentally the challenges that they are confronted with, okay? Having said that, it means that if they are able to generate money, people are not coming, and we are able to build markets at the outskirts of town, development will expand to those places. So when even those who decide to come to Accra, at least they will find something to do within those places. That's the point I'm making. Essentially.
And I appreciate it. And I'll just say this because I think others want to come in here.
Others have to come in, not
to. You see, so that if, for instance, when President Kufuor built the Wood Village, okay, if maybe the government might want to, MP, please, maybe you might want to discuss with when you get to the Honorable House. But if, let's say, government would, for instance, provide a shuttle service, highly subsidized, so that people can, you go and say that, move from the streets of Accra, I'm putting you at Pram Pram, but I'm also providing half rate.
Now you're giving me solutions.
We give solutions to the Akufo-Addo government all day, but they are so ensconced in their cocoon of luxury you see, so ensconced in their cocoon of luxury, flying 15,000 pounds sterling an hour jets, and that highfalutin lifestyle. Salad with pomegranate vinaigrette. You understand? They don't hear us. They don't hear us. Bourgeoisies. But we wish them well. We hope that Mrs. Adwa Safwa and co can, I think they are, good-natured. Our MPs love Ghana. They want to do good by the country. But MP, Honorable MP, me, for instance, if I was to offer you some advice, all I'll say is that try and do something big for Sisala people, even if it will let you stay in Parliament for just 4 years. But big, you'll be remembered for generations. Because our MPs are thinking about only 4-year instances, and it's helped.
Thank you. Good morning to my big brother, Mr. Samuel Obrediama, who is the general manager for Ridge Royal Hotel. You're watching. Good morning to Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awontirim, who is watching in the Speaker's office as we speak this morning in Parliament. It means that the Speaker of Parliament is also watching the morning show. Good morning to you, Honorable Alban Bagben, number 3 of the Republic of Ghana. And Timothy said I should tell you, Soprano, that you are a runaway brother. You have to make sure that you connect.
I won't do that.
You have to connect.
After the show.
Yeah. Right. So let me go to Saka Salia. I'll come to you, Honorable. Saka, let me come to you on this subject matter. I think that we've had an open conversation, but were you not listening to the subject matter?
No, I don't know the subject matter.
Always controversial.
He was talking about MPs and how they fear and all.
No.
So I don't know what the topic really is.
No. After the massive, I like that. The decongestion of Accra, the fact that traders are back on the street. I mean, I loved it. Have you seen? Did you drive through Medina?
Yeah.
You know how smooth it was when the people were asked to now use the footpath and things like that.
Yeah.
But they're back, brother. When the police left, Ghanaians to Demong. We are troublesome.
Yeah, Kwame, I think that it is serious. The topic is after massive decongestion of Accra, traders are back on the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us even said that. Because this has been a perennial problem of this country. We have tried time with a number to solve this congestions problem. But I think that I must say that we have not, as a nation,
Right.
actually dealt with this matter.
Okay.
This matter is not dealt with by an individual who decided to take an action. You could see that the minister took that unilateral action. Even though good, it should have been part and parcel of a whole program. And that is a problem I have. Because once the president have announced that we're going to make Accra the cleanest city, it should come with a whole lot of plans.
Right.
And I think in that regard, those who are supposed to take the president policy and implement it have failed. And I am not happy about that.
Right.
Because we know very well that it is the mindset of the people. The mindset of the people is that we can do anything just for money. We can occupy anything for money. You see, when you go and drive these people away from the street, what they talk about is that there are no jobs, and then this is what we do, this is what we've been doing to take care of our children and all that. That has always been, their language. And therefore, for us to do that, first of all, we need to reorientate their minds, their mindsets. We first of all have to come up with legislation. We need to do things that are not orthodox. We need to ensure that we establish a certain framework that everybody has to follow. So that you don't need a minister to go and stand there and then put the fear of God in people. But I think in that regard, we have not been able to, because we have seen regimes in the past where people, through their Baye system, will just go and then sack the people in less than 6 hours. The people will be back.
Right.
And I remember what what Ajeso and co were doing
was that they will station people there, and it also comes with money. Because if you are going to station people at a particular point to ensure that nobody comes there again, you need to pay those people. And the assemblies do not have money. So it has to be the mindsets of the people, the attitudes of the people. The bylaws, the legislation has to be very punitive. So that if you flout them, you have yourself to blame.
We have laws, right?
We have the laws. The laws are not biting enough.
Yeah.
And the enforcement regime has not,
I think,
it's also problematic.
Absolutely. I mean, because you see, it doesn't matter. Even if somebody is arrested and charged 200 Ghana cedis, I think that's
exactly.
Laws must not necessarily be punitive. We can actually get people to
the 200 is punitive enough.
I beg your pardon?
The 200, I mean, somebody
of course,
somebody will even be,
but there will be a phone call from a politician.
Oh, please, don't go there. You see, don't. Sometimes when we are discussing national issues, no, please. Sometimes when we are I could have gone political or partisan with this. So please. When you were talking, I kept
okay, let me make a point. I think
it's not only politicians that intervene.
Okay.
When the
chiefs intervene,
pastors intervene. I mean, people,
even
society, people in society intervene.
That's my point.
So don't even take it to the realm of politics, because we all want a solution. When we are moving on that stretch of road, I don't think that is only the politician that move there. These businessmen who want to go to office as early as possible to meet their clients or the meetings and all those, they are part of the people that apply those rules. So when we are talking about some of these things, we should not be talking about politicians, Adjosafo, Dazungman.
But the politician makes the law. The businessman cannot make the law.
It is not only the politician. The politician makes the law on behalf of the people.
But he makes the law.
On behalf of the people.
He makes the law, right?
And so
you see,
the laws are there.
Let us.
Those who are flouting the law, I don't know the common man. Have you seen a politician standing there flouting the law? Have you seen a politician there now? So the real problem is not a politician. Is the people who are there, who are the streets, causing mayhem and doing all manner of things.
That one I agree with.
And preventing people from a smooth movement of vehicles.
But politicians also sit. Okay, no, I won't say politicians. The enforcers sit for these things to go on without responding to it when it starts, and then they allow it to go on and go on and go on, and then the people finally settle. Have you seen the Accra Mall? That the bus stop.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
I mean, it's very chaotic.
Have you seen
that place?
Nima, that place, Kaukudi.
Yeah.
That intersection.
Yeah. I've seen that.
It's crazy.
I've seen that.
Now they actually bring their chairs and sit and sell.
Of course.
But we've allowed it.
That's why I'm saying that it has.
Who has allowed it?
You see, it has to take political will.
Oh,
please, why are you interrupting?
Let's have a good show, I beg you.
Why are you just...
But you know, Soprano is your brother. He always does that to you. So.
I'm not fighting him. I'm only telling him to keep quiet. You see, Kwame, it takes political will to do some of these things. For me, I believe that we need a holistic approach to this matter. You don't need an overzealous politician to want to whimsically solve this problem. Let's come out with bylaws. Let's come out with laws that will ensure that people who want to flout this policy, they themselves will be thinking of the consequence of their action and not indulge in it. But we have made it to look like, a less risk venture. I mean, nobody will do anything if even the police see me or whatever. I mean, it's just a matter of driving us away, and then we just go when time about 2 or 3 hours elapsed, then we'll come back and all that, and then continue business as usual. And it has always been like that, especially when you are even approaching election period. It becomes more or less like there are no rules governing anybody. Everything become, haphazard and all that. So I think that once we want Accra to be the cleanest city, when we are aspiring that Accra should be the cleanest city,
all right,
we have come out with even the Ministry of Sanitation and all that. So let us think outside the box.
Right.
Let's come up with implementation plan. Let us ensure that people who, congestion. For me, I think that it is one of the easiest things to do. It's just a matter of, consultation, a matter of ensuring that the right people are put in the right place. The Greater Accra Regional Minister is showing the way. He's showing that we have the men. And once we have the men, let's use the men that we have in order for us to achieve whatever that we set out for ourselves.
Right. Thank you very much, Sir Kasali. I'm going for this quick commercial break. When I come, we hear from Honorable Sukparu. But coming up, I just want you to take a watch at this video before we go for the break.
Our dormitory in Uthman bin Affan Islamic School. One can see that our job boxes and trunks are kept outside, and then our things, even our clothes, sometimes we leave them outside because we don't have places in the room to keep them. And our toilet is full, currently getting full. So therefore, students need to defecate in rubbers and then go and dump it in the toilet because they can't sit on it. And then the bathhouses too, they are very few, and when we wake up.
Right, so yeah, this is one of them. Also coming up, watch this.
At that time, they don't know what is going on. This is the driver.
So there is more to this, and it's going to get exciting right after this commercial break. Stay with us. You're still watching the News Preview segment on your #1 station, Pan African Television. Quick commercial break. Stay.
Every day he has a drink filled with malt, milk, and cocoa. Every day he needs the nutritious goodness of Milo. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved. Every day he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, gets back home, and helps his mom. Phew. That's why every day he needs his cup of Milo filled with the nutritious goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa. Milo, the energy to go further.
From Nestle.
This advert is FDA approved.
Right, we are back. Thank you very kindly for staying tuned into Pan African Television. My name is Kwame Usunasi. Honorable, let's listen to you on this massive decongestion of Accra. The fact that traders are also back onto the streets. Please, let's hear you. I like the fact that you seem to confused.
That topic is very, very important.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you've not met Saka, have you?
Yes, but I think I know the face.
Yes.
I'm sure I met him somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And it's a nice gentleman.
Yeah.
And I can see that he's a good communicator.
Yeah, of course.
And
of course.
He always talk on issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, traders are back. I think about just 3 weeks ago that we saw the Greater Accra Regional Minister leading a team, sacking people from our streets. Some individual, in fact, people were happy that, some people were saying that this is a bold leader and all of that. In fact, I'm not surprised that the people are back. Because when that incident, and when he was taking that decision, I told a friend that, look, this thing is just going to be a week or two. Mark it down, these people will be back. And the person was arguing with that. I told him, You know, that is not the best way to go. My brother alluded to the fact that, you know, this particular action, that is not the best way to fight these people. We are in this country that are governing by laws. This country that we are, there are laws that we are all, you know, are supposed to operate within the laws. And so these particular actions of the traders, there are two things.
Okay.
One, the major challenge, we all know, it's about the hardship.
Of course.
It is not their liking that you see them walking on the street, you see them sitting in the scorching sun selling. They are just struggling to even raise at most 20 Ghana cedis to be able to make a living. It all boils down to the hardship. And so for you to be able to fight this, you must make sure that the economy is stabilized. There are employment, businesses are ongoing so that people can have other alternative way of creating income for themselves. When you are faced with a challenge like how to even feed, anything that comes on your way, you'll be compelled to do. Look, I am speaking as, look, I was once, he sitting here can attest to the fact. I came from, you know, these kind of people, you see them on the street.
You're street.
Yes, ways back in Accra.
I see.
Yes, when I was here in Accra looking for a job and I wasn't finding job. It was difficult to even get lorry fare to go back to the north. Was very difficult. My brother, I had to leave.
Wow.
I met a friend who suggested to me, we were in Greater Accra, where at the, Makola, we were there. You know, even sleeping in front of shops.
You?
Yes.
I see.
Today, it's a news to you.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was what we used to do. Because we had no other option than to do that. And so for you to find a lasting solution to this, you have to make sure that there are jobs. Look, honestly, when you speak, they say you are doing propaganda or you are doing politics, but that's the reality. We cannot have an economy today. Ghanaians, we are suffering. Talked about electricity bill, water bill, everything has, you know, all of a sudden gone up. Yet we have our president who claimed he made a pledge to Ghanaians way back in 2016 that he was coming to protect our public purse. Today, president is flying on private jet, rented hourly, 15,000 pounds. Are we serious as a country? Yeah. So for me, I will attribute this to leadership failure. We created a full ministry, that Ministry of Sanitation. We've had all kind of slogans. We are going to make Accra the most cleaner city in Africa.
Justice.
As a ministry, I want to ask you just one question. What is the policy ever since that ministry was created, right from 2017? Is there any policy to ensure that we have Greater Accra as the most cleanest city? It is not about talk. Like you rightly said, you cannot just go around sacking people from the street. When you do that, you sack them from La Paz, you go to La Paz today,
they'll go to Medina.
Tomorrow you move to Medina, the Accra, the La Paz people are back. You understand? So before you return from Medina to Accra, the Medina people are also back. You go to Kaneshie, the Medina people, there must be, look, we must be serious in this country. It is high time for us to hold this government accountable. It is no longer about talk. It is no longer about show boy thing. This Abere style of sacking the people from the street that the Greater Accra regional minister was doing, I think that it was just kind of let the people see that I am the hard-working regional minister. It goes beyond that. It is not about the Abere style of sacking them. He ought to, I was expecting him as a minister to call for a stakeholder conversation. Let us have a round table discussion. Consult, invite all the MDCs. Invite them. What is the way forward? What are some of the bylaws that we can, come up with? In fact, we're talking about we don't have money. day in, day out, we keep increasing taxes. We only think that it is the only way for government can raise revenue is to increase taxes. No. That is why when you go to the judicial system, they also generate tax. They also generate revenue for government. So if there are bylaws that when you when you go against ABCD, these are the way. You either pay a fine of this or you go to prison for a month or so.
Yeah.
You understand? We can even use that to generate revenue. Quite apart from that, the most important thing as a government that they must do is to ensure that the people are fully employed.
Right.
Create employment avenues, alternatives that the people can really take up those avenues in order to get income, not necessarily coming to hawk, not necessarily coming to sit under a scorching sun, or in the name of trying to raise, you know, a 20 Ghana city to be able to feed themselves.
Yo, what's up?
You understand? So I think that government still has a long, you know, way to go.
Right.
Our employment creation is zero. Creating employment is not about just getting up and establishing a new agency that we have a NAPCO, we have this, and we are recruiting over 100,000, and you cannot even pay them.
Right.
Trust me, we have just returned from a capacity building in Koforidua. The people, youth in afforestation, the people that they employed, youth in afforestation, they are even in arrears about 6 months. How much are they paying them? Less than 700 Ghana cedis. Some are even taking 400 Ghana cedis. 6 months, they have not received their salaries. How do you expect them to live?
But the Forestry Commission boss has received his salary.
Oh yes, 65,000 cedis a month. The people, those on the ground. You see, so you how do you expect them to live? So if they have other alternative of selling Pepsodent on the street, coming to hawk with pure water and all of that to make a living, why would you blame them? If you had created unemployment for them, or even paying them, even the employment that you claim you've given them, if you are even paying them, I don't think the people would have found themselves in the streets. So I mean, for me, it's a leadership failure.
All right, thank you.
And collectively, I agree with him that
with Saka.
Yes, I agree with Saka that as citizens we also have a role to play. We must also know that yes, government is trying to do ABCD.
All right.
We have to also abide by some of the things. It is deliberate, and sometimes you cannot fully blame them. Like I said, it's because of the hardship. So once there is hardship in the system, people must find ways and means to make a living.
Man must survive.
Man, exactly. So by all means, man must survive.
Man must survive.
You can imagine that amount of money. We're talking about 2.8 million Ghana cedis. Go to Sisala West. I just mentioned here that we have only one secondary school in Sisala West. We're talking about the whole of Sisala West. The whole of Sisala West. The only secondary school that was built by NDC in 2009 when NDC came to power. The whole of Sisala West. This E-block, we were fortunate we got one. Look, it is almost complete, 90%. We just need little. I don't think it will even cost us up to 500,000 for us to complete that school. You can imagine the amount of employment that school would have created for the people of Sisala West and Ghana for that matter. Yet government, and for that matter, the president who claimed he cares about his people, was seen flying.
2.8 million.
2.8 million.
It's not even a jet.
Are we serious? You understand? 2.8 million. We are struggling for a district hospital. We do not even have a district. People have to travel for a number of hours to access hospitals in the nearby districts. You can imagine 2.5 million, the number of chief compounds that would have the government. So sometimes it is not. So for me, it's all these things that we are talking about. It is about leadership failure.
Thank you.
And nothing more. So government must sit up and address some of these challenges. And the best way to go is to create employment.
All right.
To come out with bylaws and not necessarily just engage in this Abaye style of sacking them from the
Thank you, my
It will
honorable.
not stop them today. It won't stop them tomorrow.
Thank you, my honorable. Great submissions here. Now, it appears the MPP likes the figure 2.8 because we are learning that national security is in some 2.8 million thievery scandal at Asankregua because the Asan Kregwa District Immigration Commander is alleging that the national security went to take some 2.8. You know, the president flew in a 2.8 million jet. The national security, they want to challenge the president. They said, no, Mr. President, you can't chop the 2.8, and we too, we have to, So allegedly, we are learning that some 2.8. Let's just watch these videos, these evidential videos. When we come back, we will get Honorable Saka Salia to start the conversation for us.
At that time, they don't know what is going on. This is the driver.
This is what I was talking about. Wale Mufti with Max, it's very, very serious. Gee. And who is this?
Yeah, I don't want to work. That's why they're going to put the main switch off at the back.
Well, so that's the video there. It happened in the Western region, Asan Kregwa. Question is, are these men from national security? Because even the way they were wielding the gun did not demonstrate to me, who is a civilian, that these guys are real national security operatives. Saka Salia may perhaps have some explanations for us. If he doesn't, it's fine. But I believe that he wants to respond to the Saka.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
I have watched the video, and then I'm finding it difficult to justify the action. We all know of the manners or the devastating effect of Galamsey. We know that if you look at our laws, I mean, we have passed the Anti-Money Laundering Act in 2003. We have ensured that contraband goods do not enter this country. But the reason for this action is that these people are engaged in money laundering. They are engaged in illegal, that is Galamsey. They engage in drug peddling. Oh, what do you mean by what?
No, let him make his point. Soprano, let's have a decent show. You have your time, please.
Or am I talking about different things?
Saka, proceed.
Yeah. So the action that actually the reason that actually prompted the action was as a result of the reasons, some of these things that I talk about. Engaging Galamsey, money laundering, and all that. So the activity, so people had involved themselves in illegal activities at the casino. So national security had got wind of this fact. I first of all told you that I'm finding it difficult to actually justify not the reason why they go there, because look, I mean, I'm not sure that you go to some other country and then foreigners will engage in some of these things. They will use their laws to climb down on, those activities. But the Rombo style is what I'm saying that I find it difficult to justify. Especially national security. National security is supposed to operate, in a manner that is not visible. And when they are taking some of this action, you have to be accompanied by police, or even, if possible, military. But they themselves do not have to, do it in a manner and brazenly, as we are seeing. It's as if they are at war with some people and all that. People can disguise themselves. People can take advantage, can take cue from what is happening and do armed robbery. Because first of all, before you even enter the premise, you need to let the people know who you are. Oh, we are from this area or this area. Order. Yes, or we have a court order. Yeah. And this is a court order. You give them a copy. And then you start to do search. But you can't, brazenly enter there without any notice and start the manner that they are doing. That is the reason why it is possible for people to even exaggerate some of your action. Now, you people are talking about 2.8 million. I don't know where that news came from. I don't know who came out with the amount of...
DSI Francis Kofi Appel, District Commander Sankragba,
yes,
of Immigration.
He says what? And what did he say?
He indicated that the alleged national security operatives made away with about 2.8 million Ghana cedis, and has detailed everything here, including the figures and how much was taken from which hotel and things like that. So I'll read them. I'll read it out for you if you want me to.
Yeah, you can do that.
So I'm just going to the last paragraph. Okay. Yeah. The team took away with them 6 Chinese nationals and are alleged to have taken with them about 3 million Ghana cedis, gold bars, and quite a number of phones. I respectfully submit for your information and directive set. Signed, DSI Francis Kofi Appel.
Yeah, but what we are hearing the news that they came out with 1.3 million or so.
2.8?
1.3 million. What they have actually issued.
Reported. Yeah.
1.3 million.
That's the whole point. So where is the 1.5? Do you get it? So I don't know if
I get that. Yeah. I get that. You see, before at the point where you took some of these items, you need to record the inventory. You need to record it. Okay.
Absolutely.
We have
taking so
at this point. Then you write. You don't just gather things, and you see the whole thing looks highly unprofessional.
Yeah.
And when is that? You create room for rumor mongers or for people to, as it were, come out with all manner of figures. Somebody could have come out with 10 million. Because it is as a result of the manner that you took the action. So sometimes, even if the mission is noble, the action should also be, action that is highly professional. But if you go there on a mission that is noble, and then the modus operandi, leaves much to be desired, a lot of conspiracy theories will come. People can do whatever. I mean, say whatever. And I was not very proud with the pictures, the footage, the video that I was seeing.
All right.
I think that it is a bad advertisement for the national security. I know that national security has a lot of professionals.
My problem has got to do with why DSP Azugu is still at national security. Do you understand my frustration?
No, I get your frustration, but
I don't understand why he's still at post.
But I mean, there could be a compelling reason for that.
What's a compelling reason than to go and be raiding hotels and be acting as if you are one of those?
Yeah, but Kwame, I think that
yes, sir.
If they had not also arrested these people, it would have been bad. because these people had engaged in illegalities and all that. But you see, they should have led the police to take that action.
No, because but according to
but they should not have gone there themselves.
They had police. They had DSP as himself. It's a police.
It's
officer.
a police, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
seconded to national security.
Absolutely. So
yes.
he is leading. If he is leading the team, it means that the police, invariably, the police is leading the team.
No, but that was a SWAT team of national security.
Yeah.
And then the SWAT team.
I thought they've been disbanded, haven't they? Because they
by the Iowa West Wagon Commission. They asked that the SWAT team should be disbanded. But from by evidence of what we are seeing, it appears it's still in place. But I think that more explanation needs to be given.
Yeah.
Because as of now, I have little,
it's a bit flimsy.
Little information to actually give.
All right.
But the bit and pieces of what I heard.
All right.
Is
so,
what I've been used.
Let me come to you. But Saka has done very well. I thought he was going to defend this. Saka has found a way of bringing the issues home, and highlighting some of the things which were wrong with this operation, albeit that he indicates that, listen, this was a much needed operation because of the activities of the people and all of that. The fact that allegedly they are involved in or they are engaged in galamsey, money laundering, etc., etc. So, of course, it was much needed, But the way and manner, the modus operandi of the apparatus is what he questions and criticizes. Now, let me come to you. What do you have to say in respect of this matter?
Thanks, Kwame. Just by the way, Saka, do you agree that it was national security?
Yeah, they're national security.
Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You appreciate his honesty.
He has no choice. It's not an issue of Saka being magnanimous with honesty today. Or being charitable. He's in a corner. He has no choice. His government, the government of President Daniel Akufo-Addo, is in trouble.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm very careful with my words because I'm afraid of a court case. And also because a friend of mine in Kumasi told me, look, Sylvester, you better be careful because the national security people might come and beat you up if you criticize too much. He says he knows some of the gurus there and they were talking to him.
The same person called me.
The same person called me. So you see, but I'm an innocent Ghanaian working for the motherland without pay or salad. You see, so why?
By the way, Gabriela sent me a text message.
Okay.
She wanted to know the name. You mentioned of Salah something. What is that?
Oh, that is my intelligence indicates that at the Flagstaff House there's a lot of salad eating going on, and that the favorite salad dressing that they prefer is called the pomegranate vinaigrette. Pomegranate. Or pomegranate vinaigrette. It's the kind of
pomegranate vinaigrette.
Yes, that's the salad dressing.
Okay.
It is a type of salad dressing designed for highly bourgeoisie people.
How did you know if you're not part of the bourgeoisie?
I read about it.
Let's proceed.
I read about it. When somebody told me about it. But my regards to Gabriela, by the way. Gabby, if you are watching, I miss you a lot. Anyway, so Saka, I'm careful. I'm careful when I talk about you guys right now because you are holding the power, and increasingly it seems it is being exercised recklessly. When you look at the behavior of national security over the past several years under the President Akufo-Addo administration, the way they even beat up Honorable MP for Pram Pram, Sam George, it was a certain denigration of Parliament.
So I said after Sam George, he provoked them.
Oh, okay. Right.
And you were here when Sam George was saying that you come to somebody's home and killed him. Okay. He was lying to his teeth.
Okay, all right. Proceed.
He said they were shooting and he was dodging.
Soprano, proceed.
So he was just a rabble.
So what you are saying is that Honorable Sam George, yes. Honorable Sam George dodged bullets.
That's what he was saying.
Oh, okay, he can dodge a bullet. Okay.
This is my show.
You see,
I love the show.
But although the national security chaps or some of the national security chaps seem to be bringing the entire organization into disrepute, I'm convinced that at its core, the national security apparatus is made up of patriots who are interested in the well-being of Ghana and who are interested in defending our assets and our wealth, so to speak. Okay, so I can appreciate that they might have gone to the site of the alleged, anomalies with a good intent. But you see, increasingly we are finding out that the security operatives seem to be involved in common thievery. That's what I'll call it. You see, because when you are a uniformed official and you have a weapon, by default, people defer to you. And then when it turns out that you are also a thief, then it's very sad indeed. Because recently we also heard accusations about policemen, people in uniform, officers trained by the Ghana police who robbed some youth of his 18,000 cedis and forced him at gunpoint to go to the ATM. And I'm hoping that they've gotten them, because most of the ATMs also have cameras. So, but my point is, who would have thought that under the leadership of President Akufo-Addo, the eminent human rights lawyer, that some of these things would be happening? And who is responsible? How come nobody is resigning? Okay, I can understand that nobody might want to resign from the national security outfit, because if they resign, there are no jobs for them to go to, so for employment reasons. But surely the president can sanction them, or the minister in charge, Mr. Kandapa, can't he do something about it? So we are very worried. And then we are saying that, what about the IGP? Honorable, earlier we were talking about the fact that some of these things some of these anomalies need to be cracked down upon by enforcers, the leader of which is our Honorable Inspector General of Police. But the Inspector General of Police, according to my analysis and my calculation, you see, is afraid to take action against some members of the national security. No, let me land. No. He doesn't have powers over that. And that's very sad indeed.
No, it's not sad. I mean, that is how the
so who is checking national security?
Nobody. We have the coordinator, we have the minister.
Well, talk to them, Saka. I know that
I will talk to anybody.
They are your friends. They should sit up.
You are saying,
let him
they should sit up. They should sit up. This whole business of eating salad without doing the job well should come to an end. You see, but continuing, Kwame, I'm also saying that the gentleman who reported the case, who put in the petition, the gentleman from immigration, I think Deputy Superintendent of Immigration, right? Please, if you could get his name for me as I continue. But I have great admiration for him. I'm just very sad that the DSI, you see, the Deputy Superintendent of Immigration.
His name is Francis Kofi Apau.
He's a patriot.
He's a patriot.
He's a strong man. His behavior is the sort of behavior that makes President Kwame Nkrumah smile. You see, it is a very patriotic Ghanaian. He's interested in Ghana's welfare. My only misgiving is that the director and Deputy Superintendent of Immigration, he didn't arrest the national security people.
He couldn't have.
No, Kwame, why not?
In what?
You see, he is also a security official. You see, Kwame, you don't need permission to do good. When you see somebody robbing somebody, you have a duty, a fiduciary duty as a citizen to intervene. You don't need permission to do good. You don't need permission to do good. So the DSI should have done good for Ghana.
Yeah.
He should have, because you see, he is on the ground in that area. He controls armed security personnel, statutory officials. He should have moved in on behalf of the Republic of Ghana and arrested these national security culprits, taking people's hard-earned millions. You see, and then I'm fascinated about the recurrence of the figure 2.8 million. 2.8 million. And then when I was discussing this yesterday with a friend of mine, he told me it's because the MPP peoples, all of them have decided that they want to enjoy the way President Akufo-Addo has been enjoying Ghana money. They want to enjoy the Ghana money small. The way the president has been, ensconcing himself in cocoons of luxury at the expense of the taxpayer, flying high at 17,000 feet in an aeroplane with a master bedroom for 2.8 million cedis. And so people in the government, national security people, the 2.8 figure has become a fixation for the MPP peoples. You see, but we still have faith in President Akufo-Addo. Personally, I believe that at least President Akufo-Addo is a man of integrity. Now, there's a lot I can say about MPP peoples, Saka, but at least as for President Akufo-Addo, we want to keep our faith in him. We want to continue to believe that at least in the MPP there is one man, President Akufo-Addo, who has integrity still. You understand? Because when I look across the political landscape, I see in the air the evaporation of the MPP's integrity.
Okay.
It is evaporating.
Evaporating.
So Kwame, I'm coming. So I'm ending.
Time no day.
So the only thing here that we are hoping on or counting upon is that President Akufo-Addo, he will live up to expectations. You understand? And see. You see, President Akufo-Addo does not need to worry. Yeah, I'm talking about national security. He's the leader of the national security. He's the first leading law enforcement official in Ghana.
Leave this guy.
No, hold on.
Then you now go and then tackle Nanado.
Yes,
that is where the problem.
Where's the problem
comes in?
Okay. The what? They say somebody has done. No. Somebody has done something. Let me. We are discussing the matter.
Then you talk about that. You are talking about different things.
There are remote causes to some of these problems. We are doing analysis here. All that glitters might be gold. All that glitters might be gold. What we are seeing, you understand? Still waters run deep. We think that the rot that we are seeing in the body politic probably begins at the head. They say that
so people are doing the history of national security.
Hold on. Let me land, and then you can talk. Listen. I hope you are not come to compare MDC and MPP under the circumstances, Saka.
We will not.
We will not.
Because
we can do better than the MPP and MDC. Let me land.
Let's have a decent show.
Thank you, Kwame. All I'm saying is that Ghanaians refuse to accept as the default a comparison of the abysmal records of New Patriotic Party and the NDC as our benchmark for success. Look at what is happening in this country. The past 30 to 40 years are the results of the leadership of people like President Akufo-Addo and people like President Mahama and co. People like Asiedun Ketia, people like the gentleman at the Harbour, Mark Menu, etc. You understand? You guys own this terrible situation. What are you talking about? We are not involved. Are you happy with the situation in this country, Saka? How many people in your family are working right now? And when we are talking, we say we should talk about only national security. The president is responsible for all of this. Even as he flies 17,000 feet high in his 2.8 million CD hired aircraft. Anyway, we still love President Akufo-Addo. So
you
have to be careful about national security people when you talk about the president.
You are scared. Let me say my heart is filled with happiness because a very good friend of mine, my JHS, well at the time was JSS classmate's wife, has given birth. And the gentleman is so excited. And said, Kwame, you need to congratulate my wife for me. Don't even congratulate me. And that's what I've always wondered. Is it the man that gives the baby or is it the woman that delivers the baby? I hope I'm watching. That we do the job. We do the job. So you carry our responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations to the sweet wife of Ghost Town Ba Odeshi. All right, I wish you all the best, and I'll call you after the show. All right, we are done. Honorable, let me come to you.
Okay. My good brother Saka says that we shouldn't bring in the president into the picture.
You will bring the president.
Saka, I just want to plead with you.
Imagine if this had happened under
national security.
Like Saka would chew Mahama and breathe most.
National security, for that matter, every other sector in this country is headed by the president. He appointed all the people heading those agencies. And so this particular act of Azugu, or what's his name?
Yeah, Azugu.
Azugu and his boys must be attributed to the failure of His Excellency, the President of this Republic.
Okay, I thought you were going to mention his name.
In fact, I am not surprised. I'm not surprised. I keep saying it. We've witnessed several misconduct of national security in this country. Just about 2 weeks ago in Kumasi, the regional national security coordinator was forced out of office. Yet we saw government machinery, people were all over defending the act of those people who perpetrated that act.
No, he wasn't forced out.
He was handcuffed.
He was replaced.
He was
replaced at the top.
Okay.
In the Lambo style. Is that how they replace people?
Okay, Saka.
He was being recalcitrant.
All right, hold on.
He didn't want to go.
No, hold on.
So police couldn't have done that. They could not have used police. They could not have used
Well,
police.
I mean, that's the method.
So I guess that's the method. Police should not have done that.
The police should have done
Yes.
so.
So for me, it was an act of national security. And the national security coordinator was all over trying to defend this act. So it tells me that even the invisible forces that went there are people that are part of national security.
They were not invisible forces.
They were what? Okay, so fine. Granted, they were not.
Because he wanted to escape the issue.
No,
We'll get to that.
They were not granted. They were not invisible forces.
No, they said
they were
Delta
national
Force.
security data force, but not national security operators.
No, he was saying that they were Delta Force members.
And not
Just because he wanted to escape the issue.
They were not any of them.
No, they were official
national security.
They were official national security.
Okay, Saka, let's have this issue.
So if an officer that was supposed to hand over to someone was refusing to do that, was it the job of national security to go to the man's office and remove him as if, in fact, it was kind of like I mean, we're watching a war film or something like that. Just you spoke about Honorable Sam George issue at Ayawaso West Wagon. Look, it is a shame that as a country up to date for the past 3 or 4 years, 3 years, yet not a single person has been punished for that shameful act. Granted, Honorable Sam George provoked the said national security operatives that went to Legon, Ayawaso West Wagon. Where have you witnessed, even in countries that we consider to be, in terms of election, they are more violent, where have you seen such, I mean, security? The number of people that went to just Ayawaso West Wagon. We're talking about Ayawaso West Wagon, full of elite people. We're talking about East Legon. We're talking about Jowulu. Not any other constituency. Ayawaso West Wagon. Where this...
Not Nima.
Not... Please.
Oh, no. Me too, I mean, Nima.
You saw people...
That's for Nima.
Have you ever slept in Lima?
I'm coming.
Oh, I'll show you after the show.
If I say, I just want to try.
They say you are Zongo boy. They say you are Zongo boy.
Yet you saw people, in fact, covered their faces. You could not even identify them with all kind of sophisticated weapons as if they were going to the war. I mean, all over. Intimidating people, shooting innocent Ghanaians and all of that. When a commission was set up to look into the matter, a paper was presented, recommendations were made, presented that report to the president. In fact, the president of this country is a failure when it comes to security, and I must be honest with you. You set up a commission to investigate and report. They did just that. They were paid to do that. After all the sittings, interrogating, inviting people, presenting a report to the president, he decided that he was not going to work with the report. He threw the report
It's
elsewhere.
not true, please. You are a member of parliament. Don't talk like that.
Okay, I'm coming.
No.
I'm coming. I'm a member of parliament.
So don't you know that the president has the right to issue white paper?
As part of the recommendations, is it ACP or what is
DSP
DSP Azuku was supposed to have been taken out of the place. What is he still doing there? What is DSP Azuku business in Accra? What's the name of that? Asagragwa. This same DSP Azuku that they recommended that he should be taken out. This man is still there, leading a team. And when he is going like a Rambo star, look at what happened at City FM. Just 2 weeks ago, within 1 month, Azuku, every day Azuku. Yet you don't want us to attribute this failure to the president. Tell me who should carry this blame. So Nana Addo has sanctioned all these activities. And it is high time Ghanaians must rise up to let him know that he cannot continue to take us for granted. In fact, so every day, national security. Look, one other major problem that we are faced with in this government is the people, the kind of people that are recruited into the national security. In fact, there's no sanity. There's no respect.
They should allow Saka to head national security. I'm sure there will be sanity.
Our security agencies, all manner of people are recruited into the security agency. People do not even know what they are about.
Yeah.
So if granted that the activity, what they wanted to do, if the people were even involved in illegal activities, is it the duty of national security? Even national security, when they are carrying out and when they are doing something, they would never even allow you to know their identity. A national security officer can come and be part of SA. You would never know that this person is a national security.
Yeah, but right now they mention it too.
They will be holding AK-47. Are we in what's this country? Congo. Are we in Somalia? You see national security officer holding AK-47. Why? Even in forest, game and wildlife officers are not even. So for me, all these things, honestly, until the president of this republic do something about it, we will continue to blame him for this security failure that we are seeing in this country.
Thank you.
Yeah, the point I wanted to make is
I think my time is up.
I know.
And
but just 1 minute.
Yeah.
The point I wanted to make is that you see, it's like the method that was used has played into political detractors' plan. Now, nobody is even talking about the fact that they have been able to unearth a rot, an illegality that was being commissioned by. But no. I mean, even with some of the things that they actually got from their hideout. Actually,
the hotel is a hideout.
Actually, prove that.
Which one?
Actually, I mean, look at the equipment, the things that they retrieve from the people, including so many things, including weapons and all that.
So what?
What do you mean by so what?
No, that you see, we must follow the process.
So that one alone is a prima facie.
You can't get
that one alone can be used as a prima facie
rule of law.
Hold on.
There has to be process.
Have they forced the prison them?
The premise is wrong.
The premise is wrong.
The premise is completely wrong.
What premise is wrong?
The fact that somebody is having a gun does not warrant his arrest.
No. Who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that it doesn't happen?
And you take his money to now.
Oh, listen. Right now, if you are holding 6 guns and you are in town, the police were arrested.
Were they in town when they were arrested?
If they have intelligence that shows that these people are engaging in illegality, they are doing money laundering. They are doing money laundering. Where's Yoko? If national security got wind, that somebody is peddling drugs.
Sisaka,
I'm saying that they have the right to go there.
No, they don't. National security have the right.
No. They have the no.
We have
listen,
agencies and
Kwame, listen. They have the right to go there, but with peace. That's the point I've been making all day.
What is the work of Yoko?
Oh, Yoko, they are supposed to, investigate.
You are talking about money laundering.
They are supposed to investigate serious
But you mentioned money laundering.
Yeah,
that's within their purview.
But this is where it has to start from. National security cannot do the prosecution.
I'm coming.
National security, you see, when the evidence are so palpable, that doesn't need any investigation anymore. They will just hand it over to the CID.
I'm coming.
For the CID to do, some preliminary investigation, and then.
No, you are obfuscating the issues now.
No. I am saying, Kwame.
No.
I am saying, Kwame. Let us not ignore the good intent of their actions. And then just jump.
What is the good intent?
The good intent is that people are engaging in illegality.
Why were they offering? You saw them.
People engaging in cocaine. People engaging.
Why did they put off the light?
Did they put off light?
Yes, in the video you saw them offering the main switch.
No, how do you see that?
Watch.
We are watching.
If you didn't watch.
We are watching. So where is the light?
I mean, take note that.
Okay.
So
They put up the lights.
Which light?
Wait. You want
to make a point.
Yeah, I'm saying that. So the petition was the petition was written by the Deputy Superintendent of Immigration.
And I'm not saying stupid.
No. That's a very high position of integrity. You don't become a DSI. Look at that's for the light.
Which light?
You don't become the office.
Yes.
But there are others if you are not seeing it. There were still even destroying cameras.
But I agree with you.
Yeah.
That the modus operandi.
The immigration officer should have.
But that doesn't take away any.
They assaulted the immigration officer. As I feel, look, the MP petitioned national security. They petitioned. I don't know if he petitioned them to investigate this particular because people were assaulted. A lot of people were intimidated. Even drivers, they seized. Even people, journalists were beaten and all of that. It wasn't just about all this.
I mean, if the journalist
let me read. Hold on. Gentlemen, please. Let's read a few messages here.
Okay.
Good morning to you, Kwame. It is time certain issues are tackled holistically in this country. Most of our problems are nation failure. Kwame, it's no more various past governments. They have all disappointed our nation. Ghana is solving most of problems. I don't understand. Today, your message is not quite clear, Kwame in Tabora. If you can resend it. I'm Peter Tabiri, Pence TV reporter. How may I help you, my brother? From this one says...
even that one is fast dissipating, especially after...
logo special report. Okay, it's okay. So somebody has sent me the full report, all right, but it's quite lengthy. I cannot read it on air. On the Rambo style reading of okay. I agree to Honorable and Mr. Soprano for the fire this morning. If President Mahama, who did better than Nado, still people touch his wrongs, why not Nana? Let's hear Saka. Please don't lose your respect by telling lies to Ghanaians. From Kwekuando, who would mount CCTV cameras on his own illegal activities? And why would the Kufuor's private national security destroy CCTV cameras and tapes which could be used as evidence in court? The NPP people must think Ghanaians are very dumb, eh? Brilliant, whoever it is, Kwekuando, very intelligent young man.
Private national security. I mean, how?
But who else will go and destroy evidence?
How?
But you see, the first part of the message there, you have deleted it. You are coming to argue. You are coming to argue on the second part, describing these people as a Kufuor's private.
What have you described as villains?
But if you go to a crime scene and you destroy evidence.
What evidence have they destroyed?
If you destroy cameras, if you destroy CCTV cameras,
so
that is meant to give you. That's meant to provide.
Did they destroy cameras?
Yes. Did they not?
You saw them destroying cameras.
You didn't see them destroying cameras.
Somebody just throw something and then.
My time is up, but I have to discuss the last issue. I'll try to read as many. Tell them you guys should give me like 5 minutes. Today traffic mafia me power.
Yeah, the traffic didn't help us.
Which one should we discuss?
I want that one. The discrimination.
Consensus. Achimota or food security? I think food security too.
Okay. We can discuss because Achimota is topical.
Achimota is topical. But food insecurity is a problem. No, let's discuss food insecurity. Food insecurity looms in Ghana. Chamber of Agribusiness wants over imported seeds. This one, my very good friend Hanan, you must come and respond to this. Buffer stock is responsible for those things, right? Correct?
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
What's the core mandate of buffer stock?
I mean, they buy and sell to the schools.
Just the schools?
Yeah, they store it.
Or generally, they must ensure that there's
senior high schools food.
Are we sure?
Buffer stocks.
Buffer stock?
Yeah, I mean they keep stock of
food.
It's
just because it appears I think we have a challenge with storage or something like that. So the easiest way for them to get out the product is to supply the schools. I think something like that.
Yeah.
I found out from Hanan, but I believe that is what it is.
Yeah,
so if we are learning that food insecurity is looming, is it not a problem for you, Saka?
No, I mean this is what Insight is talking about is the fact that as a nation we buy seeds every year, and then once you buy seeds every year from some other country, the possibility of that other country at a point in time not having the seeds is there. For instance, we are in a COVID situation. So if every year you go and buy seeds, now under the Planning for Food and Job, you know, as part of the Planning for Food and Job, we buy seeds and then we give the seeds, that is improved seeds.
Okay.
And we give the seeds to the farmers. And there are situations where even one, like a particular acre, the improved seeds can produce yield like 4 or 5 times the previous year, because the seeds are improved once and all that.
Right.
And then the inside is saying that, or somebody who said it and the inside reported, is saying that we should be able to have a seed bank where we can store the seeds, so that even when we don't even import the seeds, we can still have our own seeds that will be given to farmers every year.
Right.
So that without having to import and then deliver them to this. I mean, it's a brilliant concept that they are talking about. And he says that if we don't do that, the possibility that if those other countries have problem or they do not get the better yield and all those things, and that could lead to a food insecurity.
Right.
We agree perfectly, but I'm saying that this every year we also produce our seeds. It's not as if we import seeds every year.
Okay.
We import, but it doesn't mean that we don't. We have our own seeds, but because we have focused much more on agriculture these days, within the last 4 years, we have grown an average of more than about the first year we grew like 7, we grew 4%, 5% in agriculture. When we took over agriculture, it was 0.4% from the NDC. It leaves much to be desired. So now the focus is so much in agriculture to the extent that we are now even producing our own seeds. So it is not only true that we over-relied on foreign seeds for our farmers.
All right.
We also have our seeds. Maybe it is not, huge enough to cater for all the farmers that we need. That we need, and therefore we have to bring some from outside to complement what we already produce. So even when other countries have problems in terms of their yield, and then we do not even get the needed seeds, we still have some to fall on within our jurisdiction. So for me, I think that their fears are laid. There will never be food security, not under this government. And indeed, if you look at all the things that we have done in terms of agriculture, everything shows that we are on the right trajectory. And to think that we ever fall into food insecurity is neither here nor there. So because of lack of time, let's others also.
Let me come to you, Soprano.
Yeah, Kwame, I appreciate the opportunity. And I also want to say that I actually do have complete confidence in the Minister of Agri. Yeah, I think he's on top of the job.
Who, Doc?
Doctor, yeah. Of course, doctor is beneficiary of a lot of hereditary agricultural benefits. I like to put it like that. I was listening to Dr. Akoto Afriye, right? Couple of weeks ago in Kumasi. I didn't have the time, but he was at the KNUST Great Hall making a case for why Bafo Akoto, his daddy, the former Asante chairman, should be mentioned in the same vein as Dankwa Dombo Buzia. Now they want to do Dankwa Dombo Buzia Afrifa Akoto. So he was fighting for that. But the point, Akoto, the Minister of Agri, his dad is the former chairman.
You say Afrifa Akoto?
Yeah, his daddy is called Osa Akoto Afriye. But his daddy was.
So his daddy is not Afriye.
It's not Afriye.
Bafo Akoto, forgive me. Bafo Akoto. Ochame Bafo Akoto.
There's a legal law case.
Yes, we are.
Saka is not doing it. So.
Yes, sir. So Kwame, I'm just saying that you see, the Minister of Agri has over 400 acres of palm trees in the Ahafo area. Okay, and he's a big farmer himself. And I think he's doing a good job for the Ministry of Agri. Although, you see, last year, for instance, Kwame, they imported $269 million worth of agricultural machinery. We don't know where they are. Where? No, why are they there? What is he doing there? People insist that top politicians in the MPP are the ones who will be accessing it. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it because I have faith in the minister. He's a man of integrity, like President Akufo-Addo. So we want him to do a good job. But on the seed issue, you see, that's what I'm coming to. Kwame, I listened to the Minister of Agric, Honorable Efiri Akoto, on a BBC interview, British Broadcasting, and he was making a case for why we need to be using improved seeds and, you know, great amounts of fertilizer. And he made the point that those who insist that we shouldn't use fertilizers, etc., are discounting the fact that in China, Europe, and America, that is how come they have food security. And that we cannot just plant stuff and leave it to the elements and hope for a bumper harvest. And he made a very powerful case. And it really cemented my confidence in him. You see, I met the professor, the good minister of Agric, a couple of times. Forgive me, the doctor, you know, a couple of times at Agoba. He came to...
really?
Yeah. He's a great friend of Engineer Robert Wood.
Oh, okay.
And Engineer Robert Wood used to be the Ghana's crusading engineer and the co-author of, the lead principal author of Third World to First World. By one touch, my Bible. You see, and Engineer Wood was the chairman of the Oil Palm Research Institute for more than 12 years. In fact, there's a palm plantation called BOOP in the Western region. Engineer Robert Wood started it with 400 acres. And then when General Achampon assumed office or took over from K.A. Buzia and President Akufo-Addo, you know, they came to purchase the whole area and use it as the basis, the foundational piece for the BOOP. And so I know the Minister of Agric today because he came to see Engineer Wood to commission an integrated oil palm processing piece of equipment. Very, very expensive, high quality item. So, but I'm not saying he took the money from government because he has been a rich man for a long time, Honorable Minister of Agric. But Kwame, the point is that the seeds that we are bringing in from outside is not necessarily a bad thing. As Saka was saying, and as the Insight has been advocating, we need to set up a seed bank if we don't already have it. And I believe that external seed stock only diversifies and enhances our reservoir of food producing seeds, so to speak. It enhances our food security in that regard. Okay. And I think that the minister, and very importantly, and just in closing, it's not only the seeds, an element to ensuring food security, okay, that we can say in addition to the seed bank and the need to protect our seeds and save them, is the element of the pollinator. You see, when the whatever we are growing, flowers, we do need the bees and other insects to enhance pollination, cross-pollination, so that they become fertilized. But what is happening is that I think the greater danger, more dangerous than the potential lack of seeds at the moment, is the fact that we are using so many chemicals in farming and using it in a bad way, not in an educated way, that what is happening is we are killing the pollinators.
Go.
Yeah, and it's causing a lot of harm.
Honorable,
and thank you. A government of the CPP would solve all of these things. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so
all of this confusion.
Food insecurity in Ghana. Yes. I think that it is true that if care is not taken, we will be faced with food insecurity in Ghana. Why am I saying this? It is true that 90% of the seed that we grow in this country are being imported. Even the current maize, there are a variety of them. We have the lake, we have the pana, we have the pania, and what have you. There are several of them. So we've moved from the traditional way of farming to the modern way of farming, where we are now focusing on hybrid seed. You know, government for the past years have always been importing these seed into the countries. And this particular story that you are seeing, let us not sit here and underrate it. It is just that the people are afraid to come out with the real facts. It is true that last year, and you know, most of these seed, government subsidized. I don't know if you are aware.
Yeah.
The subsidies. Yes, as the subsidies aspect of it.
Subsidy.
And so the companies that imported the seed, last year, their subsidy, what they're supposed to get from the government as we speak, they've not received it. I'm coming from a rural constituency. What we do there is just farming, and so this particular one, I am aware as we speak. Today is 1st June. Farming season starts somewhere April, in northern part of the country. Not even a single subsidized fertilizer seed has been transported to the northern part of Ghana.
I see.
And we do not know what the issues are. That's the reality. And so when you find out from those that are importing the seed, they will tell you, my brother, government is still owing us. Last year we imported seed. Government claimed that they are going to subsidize ABCD. We presented all our documents, yet we haven't received our money. How do you expect them to import? And so the people are just telling you that because of what happened last year, this year they are unable to import to meet the demand. So indirectly, what are we going to face? So no, my brother, so you can disagree with me, but that's the reality. I'm telling you. No, you can't.
Seed importers very promptly.
It has not. It is never true. I am telling you that you can
go to Minister of Agri.
When you say go to Minister of Agri, I am asking you and putting it to you that as I speak to you, you can find out from anybody from the northern part of Ghana. Oh, subsidized fertilizer, subsidized seeds have not been transported. So what is keeping them? I am a member of parliament. I am interested in this. I made follow up. And I'm telling you that these are the findings. That the seed that they imported last year, the subsidized aspect, so government hasn't paid them.
But I am saying that in terms of those that are,
it is my time.
Those that have been contracted.
It is my time. And I'm telling you that those that have been contracted.
If you say government hasn't paid them fully, I can understand. But don't tell me government hasn't paid them.
Hold on.
If you are not fully paid, are you paid? No. If you are not fully paid, are you paid?
Saka.
Yeah.
So for if you government contracted you, I'm coming. Government contracted you.
About 80% of those that actually imported the seeds have been paid.
Okay. They have not been fully paid. They have not been paid.
So now you are changing it.
No. When you are changing,
so you
said I said they have not been paid. I said they have not been paid.
Let's end nicely.
They have not been paid. Government contracted them. They imported seed, and I'm saying that about 90% of what we grow in this country, the crops, including even the vegetables, everything, it is a hybrid seed that we've been using for the past years. And you contracted them to do the importation. They brought it. Subsidize. Now pay us what is due us. You keep shifting the post. Take this. We are in a different, another farming season. Yes. You are expecting them to import. Where are they going to get the money to import? You've not paid me the previous year. How am I going to import?
No, I'm saying.
So now the people are telling you that we are likely to face food insecurity because they won't be able to meet the demands. And so farmers will be found wanting, looking for seed to buy.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so that is the reality.
Point well advanced. Thank you, Honorable. Let me again congratulate my brother Odechi on the delivery of your child. And you want to congratulate your wife. Her name is Naomi Bokete. Naomi Bokete, you've done a very good job for giving our brother a very nice child.
Is it a boy or
we will. I don't know yet. Baby girl actually.
Baby girl.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, baby girl. Hey, Pato, Saka, thank you. Thank you, Saka. Thank you, Soprano. Thank you, our honorable member for Sisala West constituency, Honorable Mohammed Soprano. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Every day he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus,